Good morning and welcome to PromoChampions. Today we are talking with Craig Weiss from Initial Impressions about his journey in promo business from startup struggles to scaling with AndWeSupport. So let's dig in. Craig, welcome.
Thank you.
So, how are you doing? And how was your trip?
I'm doing just fine. Uh, it's interesting you said, how was my trip? My trip was good, but, when I'm in the middle of, I went to Yosemite National Park and finding with no internet, having to send orders to you guys was a bit challenging at times.
I know that must have been. And how was the whole experience of the park?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's stunning. So yeah, our national parks in the U.S. are absolutely amazing. Thank you for asking.
So, my first question is how did you get started in promo industry?
So I actually work with my family. I still work with my parents. We're a family business for over 40 years, since 1983. So I started out in this business as a little kid, working in production and shipping and wherever I could get my hands dirty. And then uh, in 2000, when I was up in the Bay Area in the .com business, and when the .com industry was cratering, I moved to San Diego and started in the promo full time. While I was in the Bay Area on the side, I was selling promo items to my other friends in the tech business, and I realized that I could do this full time, and I wanted to get back to San Diego. So I've been back in San Diego since 2000 and working in the business since 2025.
Okay. And how has your life changed as your business grew?
I think about this business. The one thing that's so wonderful about this business is that you can work the hours that you want to work. You can work as hard as you want to work. I have the ability to leave the office whenever I want. I can work from home. I can work from the road. I can work from my office. I can come in late. I can come in early. It just gives you the freedoms to do what you want. You can go on vacations. But it seems like every vacation is a working vacation, unfortunately. Um, I've been able to provide for my family. The thing that I'm dealing with now is that we have a child in high school in sports, and so if I can leave here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to make it to our games, that's an amazing thing. I can only live now, and it won't be in the future.
And it's really, really nice to hear that. And how Anvi support has helped your business run smoother.
So I think I was one of the early adopters with AndWeSupport. I want to say 2022 maybe.
Yeah, that's a good
So,
partnership.
and I tell the story that I went on a trip like after the initial like training period. I went on a surf trip to Nicaragua, and I would wake up early in the morning and I would send all my orders that needed to be processed and work that needed to be done to the team at AndWeSupport. Then I would go off and do my surfing and activities and napping and everything, eating and everything I was doing for that day. Come back to my computer, uh, see if any emails came in that I needed to forward again. So it really, that was kind of that initial, that it's going to enable me to have more freedoms when I'm out of the office. Even when I'm in the office, it's freeing up my time to work on bigger projects and bigger things because they're handling uh, the smaller stuff. So let me just start with a story, okay?
Yeah.
So pre-COVID, we've always had somebody in office, like a recent college graduate who was my assistant in office, and we would teach them everything about the business. We'd go through a whole long period about teaching about the industry and pricing and artwork and everything else, and how to order on different websites. And then they turn over, and then you'd have to start again with somebody new and train them on everything all over again. And then during COVID, I was working from home. Our assistant was working from home. Then she came to the office, and people would say to me, "She's just on her phone. She's not doing anything." And I go, "Really? I sent her 3 things to do. She's not doing anything." And what I found is that typical with the current younger generation is that if they don't have a job to do, if you haven't given them a task to do, they'll just get on their phones and do nothing. So what I've, it would drive me crazy because there would be other people in the office that were busy and they wouldn't go around the office asking anybody else if they needed anything and help with anything, right?
Yeah.
This person left us, and meanwhile we're paying $18, $20 an hour. We're paying benefits, workman's comp insurance, you name it, right? We had a desk for her. We had to pay IT, manage it, email address, all this other stuff. And when she quit, I took it all on myself, her job, because it was post-COVID, wasn't so busy. And that's when AndWeSupport came online for me. And what I did is I handed off all those jobs, all those responsibilities at clearly a lower rate than we're paying here in the U.S. I didn't have to train them on the industry. So the biggest I have to just train them on how to work with me, but I don't have to train them how to order from Sanmar and SNS and place purchase orders and confirm inventory and check pricing and shipping quotes, all these other things that you'd spend weeks and weeks and weeks training somebody. They already came in knowing. And so to me, that was a massive benefit when I came up, when they came. And then it's just learning how to delegate. What can I get off my plate? And I use this example, let's just say I make $60 an hour. That's my, my rate. Well, why am I doing $15 an hour jobs when somebody else who's making $15 an hour should be doing those? And that's really the thing is, let me work on those big picture $60 an hour above tasks and hand off the stuff that is the hourly stuff.
Absolutely. And what is the biggest, time saver AndWeSupport has given you, and how it has impacted your life?
I mean, I think the key is that like I said, I hand off all those tasks that were taking up my time, right? And for example, last week I had a spreadsheet that I would have spent 2 or 3 hours on, and I handed it off to the AndWeSupport team, worked on other things, and then they sent the spreadsheet back to me with what I needed done on it. I have one customer a large account that orders small orders, but lots of them. And they give me a spreadsheet of all these orders, and it would take me half a day to do these orders because every one of them is a reorder. And then, I'd start working on these orders, and then I'd get a phone call, and then I'd stop what I was doing, and then I'd get an email, and I would get distracted, and then I'd get back to it. Next thing you know, it's been 2 days or 3 days. I just take that spreadsheet, I forward it to the team. They write the sales orders, we process it. And so it's kind of, it's freed up a lot of time for me to work on bigger things, especially, and it also has allowed me to leave the office early. It's allowed me to when I'm traveling to hand off stuff when I'm traveling. So that's kind of the gist of it.
That is nice, and that is why actually AndWeSupport is the rail is to make sure that you get a lot of time and you can spend it elsewhere, managing, increasing your business, and growing your sales. And I want to ask you something. You're using AIM Tech Suite, right? The
That's
software.
correct.
Yeah. So how is the experience? And the one thing you like about that software?
So I am I'm a very early adopter to AIM Tech Suite. Was a beta tester on a lot of things. I was on they had an advisory council. And so for me, it's very scalable. We're running 2 systems in our office. The rest of the team in the office is operating off of another software system that is, there is limitations with AIM that eventually we'll get there. But for me, it's scalable. Like I can write $300 orders or a $300,000 order. They're very easy to write orders. It's got the data that I pull in from ESP and ASI. It allows me to do reorders really quickly. So for me, I really like the software. I used something else before, and I found that, and the other thing is I've been with them for a long time, since I think 2018.
That's amazing.
And I've just seen massive improvements in the software from that early time period, and they listen to distributors and make changes based on what our needs are. And it's tailored to that medium-sized to small distributor. And so, yeah, that's been my experience. And it's very affordable, because it's my understanding that if you use the AimTech Suite software, then it makes you eligible for the VIP rebates. So I get paid to use the Tech Suite. I get more back in rebates than it cost me for Tech Suite.
No, that's news. I didn't knew that actually. And if you could offer one piece of advice to someone new starting in promo world, what that would be? You have a lot of experience.
This is it's a very data product complicated business, very much so. However, I am still old school, and I believe that you need to build relationships with your suppliers and your reps, and go to shows as much as you can, because without your reps, without your supplier partners, you don't have anything. You don't have any power. And I have a million examples of when, I've had my reps help me get orders through the system, or with pricing, or with inventory. So to me, I think that it's key to go to shows, your regional shows, the national shows, right? Some people will say, "Oh, I can't afford to go to TPAI, for example," and I just say I can't afford not to, because for me, you find one thing there, you make one relationship, it more than pays for that show.
So, are you going to PPI show this year?
Yeah, so I'm going to the STAC show next week.
Okay.
No, 2 weeks. STAC show in Anaheim in 2 weeks, and then I go to the PPAI show.
So this year we have a booth over there, and
Okay.
and we hope to meet you over
Yeah,
there.
was it Paul? I met him at the PPAI show.
And that's great. And how do you keep your clients happy? How they keep coming back to you? Repeat orders.
At the end of the day, I'm still old school. I believe that people buy from people, right?
Yeah.
People they like, people they know that they can count on, right? One thing that's happened in since COVID, let's just say, you can't get a live person on the phone. You can't, websites don't have phone numbers. And, there are these big online companies in our industry, and yeah, they give low pricing, but if someone's going, well, why wouldn't I buy from them versus you? I go, okay, go get them on the phone, get an owner on the phone. You have an issue with an order, who are you going to talk to, right? The other thing I believe I do is I try to put myself in my client's shoes and understand that, it's not just some magic budget that they're spending. A lot of them are small businesses. They're spending their own money. So I give them options. Like I say, look, do you want to give out this $3 pen, or can you accomplish it with a $1 pen? Why are you focused on this when you have an option for this? And so I try to be more of a consultant than just a salesperson. What kind of annoys me sometimes is when people come to me and they go, I want this. This is all I want. It's like, okay, you sure? Yeah. Or I found it on this website. Can you beat that price? I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. I'll do whatever you need. But that doesn't create loyalty. But, I think I have a number of clients that I've got a long relationship with over the years. And, during COVID, I'd call them just to see how they were doing.
So that was the trick that played the game. Calling people during COVID.
Yeah, I mean, we had nothing to do. We were home, you know.
That was a smart move, actually. I don't think many people did that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I had lost a customer
Oh,
pre-COVID, and then they didn't do an event during COVID, and then I was just reaching out to see how they were doing. Like how are you doing as a person, right? Not as a business or whatever. And I've since gotten that customer back.
oh, that is nice. And how does AndWeSupport support help your business move forward?
I mean, it just keeps everything moving forward. I mean, I'll tell you this story. Uh, the software that the other part of the office uses had an outage in
Mhm.
November, about 3 years ago, I'd say, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It was devastating. Like we couldn't write POs, couldn't invoice customers, you name it. And what I was able to do was get all those orders that were coming in that normally would get entered in a different software, and I was sending it to AndWeSupport. They were processing the orders for us, for basically 3 weeks to a month until the other one got back online. And I mean, really saved our behind because I actually was in Maui at the time. I was in Hawaii, so in the morning I would get all these orders. I would forward them to the team at AndWeSupport, and then they would enter them, and then I'd forward them uh, to the vendors, and it kept us running. So, you know, uh, the key is that like I'm on vacation, someone else on vacation, there's still people working for us.
And how do you value your partnership with AndWeSupport? Support?
I mean, I just think it's invaluable. Like for me, especially for me, being that I'm out of the office a lot, I travel a lot. I know that there's somebody there who's gonna at least keep orders moving forward, right? Uh, if I'm, I can have them answer a question, find out information, call, Uh, so to me, it's just invaluable. Uh, but and like I said before, I mean, I know what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are,
Yeah.
and what I do is I use those strengths as much as I can.
And one advice for all your fellow promo distributors, any one advice?
Well, I mean, obviously, right now we're dealing with some really uncertain times. Last year we had a very difficult year. It was not my doing. One of our large clients had massive layoffs and cut all their marketing budget and everything else, right? But this year, what I found is that low dollar items are hot, most popular, right? You know, the trinkety stuff. Look, would I love to be selling $25 mugs and $50 bags all day long? Yeah, absolutely. But I am not going to pass up can holders and lip balm and bottle openers and pens and keychains if they are keeping us busy, keeping money coming in. So for me, I don't poo-poo any item, any dollar amount. I mean, I just quoted, you know, 6 cent temporary tattoos yesterday for a good account.
Mhm.
And for me, everything's a sale, and I treat every sale like it's the greatest thing ever.
No, that was really insightful. And with that, I have completed my set of questions. Thank you, Craig. Thank you so much for this insightful journey. I hope there are a lot of people who see this podcast will learn something new from this. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jason. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Promo Champions. Until next episode, take care and goodbye. Goodbye, Craig. Have a great,
All
wonderful
right.
weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.